My name is Connor Barth, and I'm the founder of Athlete Made Easy. I want to share a story with you because I think it's going to resonate with you if you've ever had a dream of being a professional athlete, but you feel like the world is telling you that it's impossible. When I was 8 years old, I was out in my driveway playing basketball, dunking on low rims, and swinging bats in Little League. The whole time I knew I was going to be a professional athlete someday. And as I grew up, that fire in me never went out. In fact, it only got stronger. Through high school, I was playing baseball, basketball, volleyball, you name it, I played it. But in the end, basketball really stole my heart, and that's what I focused to. In high school, I made varsity my freshman year, but I mostly rode the bench and handed the water to everybody. And all throughout high school, I could never actually get on the court and get to play, especially when it mattered when we got to state playoffs. Grades, skills, athleticism, none of it was really enough. And by my senior year, I could barely do a windmill, and I had a total of 0 colleges giving me any offers. And it really felt like my dream was slipping away. Going into college, I ended up in an engineering school in Texas called UTA, but I ended up spending way more time in the gym and basically no time in class because I was chasing that professional athlete dream. However, this did not work out at all, and I dropped out in less than a year. At 21, I was back home, living with my parents, playing pickup basketball at LA Fitness, and working jobs that I hated just to be able to scrape by. My family, my friends, and people I knew didn't mean to doubt me, but kept saying things like, Connor, find a career. Connor, you need to support yourself. Connor, you need to move out. You need to find anything you can to get by. But that just wasn't for me. I would rather have stayed home and rotted or have been homeless instead of give up on my dream. So for the next 2 years, I trained with basically no real end in sight and no mentor. I was just grinding as hard as I could, but I saw no progress, and the world was constantly affirming that I was never gonna be a professional athlete. And I couldn't help but start to question, are they right? Like, am I good enough? Do I have the potential? Like, am I ever gonna make it? Near the end of this time, I really started to think that the world was right. After I started believing them, I entered a really dark place in my life. And I hated myself, and I hated pretty much everything. All I wanted to be was a professional athlete, and I was convinced at this point it was never going to happen. But then something happened. One night, I was scrolling through YouTube, and I came across a video called The Florida Dunk Sessions, which had people like Jordan Kilgannon, the best dunker who has ever lived, dunking with their friends, having fun, and just absolutely flying. For whatever reason, this video at that time with this group of guys inspired me like nothing ever had before. That night I made a decision. I was gonna retake my dream, and this was gonna be the path I choose. I was going to become a professional dunker, or I was going to die trying. Because truthfully, life was already dead to me, so I had nothing to lose. So having decided this, I reached out to Jordan to have him be my mentor. I bought his Bounce Kit program at the time and decided right then, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna train hard. So the plan, train like crazy on Bounce Kit, post every workout and dunk that I do to social media, and get noticed. I worked harder in this first 6-month span than I've ever worked in my life up to this point. And in that 6-month span, I gained 8 inches on my vertical. I continued training hard for another 6 months and convinced someone to loan me $1,000 so that I could attend the dunk camp in Salt Lake City, Utah to try and get exposure, promising them that if I went, I would make it happen. And you know what happened? I went to the camp and absolutely showed out. People cannot believe how good that I was. And off of this camp, I got invited to a FIBA dunk contest in Mexico City, which I won.
I'm happy. So congratulations. Thank you.
And then I came back, and within a month, I hit a new dunk that no one had ever done that landed on SportsCenter the following night, which then when I woke up, had gained me 15,000 followers on Instagram. Before this, I had worked for a year and a half, not including everything before that, and I only had 300 followers. But it wasn't all smooth. Right when I got here and had the feeling that like, I'm finally doing it, I'm getting noticed, I'm gonna be a pro athlete, the pain set in. My body started breaking down. Knee pain, ankle pain, back pain. I had been training so hard for so long at this point, I didn't really know what I was doing, And so I started to break down. It took the next 2 years talking to tons of different coaches and trying lots of different things to actually get the solutions and fix the pain that I had in these joints. But having conquered that now, I became the best 2-foot dunker on the planet for about a 6-month span, having a 47-inch vertical. Oh my! But then in 2023, I had broke my hand and took a short break, and then attended the dunk camp in Dallas that summer, and immediately after was diagnosed with testicular cancer. After that diagnosis, I went straight into surgery, and then after that, into chemotherapy because it had spread, and it took everything from me. My vertical dropped from 47 to 22. I lost all the athleticism I had built over my entire life. That was the darkest time in my life, sitting having chemo injected to me, wondering if I would ever get to jump again, and if it had all been for nothing. Wondering if I really had just wasted my life to have it taken away from me, and I would never get to do what I loved ever again. But those 9 months of treatment gave me a lot of time to think. And I realized something huge. Being a professional athlete isn't just about the views or the dunks or the training. It's who you are. And nothing can take that from you. Not cancer, not pain, nothing. So I was faced with the same choice again. Accept my fate or get to work. In the 9 months since beating cancer, I've gone from a 22-inch vert to a 37-inch vert, lost 40 pounds, and I'm getting stronger every single day. And all of this has happened way faster than the doctors told me. They said it was gonna take me 2 years just to be normal, but I don't want that, and I know that you don't either. Through all of this journey of doubts, injuries, cancer, and coming back again, I figured out what really makes an athlete. I've had the privilege to be with, train with, and coach the greatest in our sport. And the real keys to success were never a secret lift or a magical program. It's always been the principles they were using, and that's exactly what I used to go from being a high school player with no offers to the greatest dunker on the planet. And in that time, I also got to coach thousands of athletes, basketball players, volleyball players, football, soccer, college players, NBA, NFL. I've coached a ton of people. And in doing that, I got to see that the same principles worked through all levels of athlete. So here's the deal. If I can go from a kid with no offers, tons of doubt, tons of pain, going through cancer, and coming back again, imagine what you could do. All you need to do is decide to do it and do it. You don't need to deal with all the confusion out there, social media arguments, and overcomplicated programs. That's why I created Athlete Made Easy. It's everything I've ever learned from personal experience, coaching people, and all of the mentors that I've had boiled down into easy to learn principles. How to train, how to sleep, how to eat, how to track your progress. I'll coach you one-on-one to get results fast, but more than that, I'll teach you how to coach yourself so that you don't even need me in the long run. So if you're sitting there now, dreaming about the athlete that you can be, don't wait. Sign up for Athlete Made Easy right now with the box on the right, or if you're seeing this somewhere else, on athletemadeeasy.com. Let's cut through all the noise together and make you the best athlete that you can be right now, but not only for now, the rest of your life. I've got your back. Let's do it.